Another one for Tommy boy. Another one for the world. Another one for the listeners. And maybe for the
11 of the Third Leg Podcast. I'm your host, Riley Warren, and alongside me today is a very, very special guest, owner of BetOpenly and host of the Disciplined Degens podcast. In the gambling community, we call him Uncle Gino. Welcome, Gino Donati.
Thanks, my brother. I appreciate that very warm welcome. You're making me blush.
Hey, that's how we do it around here. How you doing, man? How's Florida treating you these days?
Good, dude. I moved here 2 years ago. It sounds like I'm really into sports betting. I moved here overnight on a red eye, landed Super Bowl Sunday 2 years ago. So it's been like 2 years and 3 months.
That's awesome. The new studio, I seen you guys, little update on that. Seen you got the new paint, the new floor coming. How was that going?
Dude, it's going to be sick. The homie Matty Betts and I, dude, he's the first dude I've met online. Like, I know it sounds creepy to say, so maybe I read that wrong, but he's the first person I met online and then met in real life. So I'm 1 for 1 on good dudes. Like, we've been partners now for almost a year and a half.
That's crazy. I mean, you guys are a kick-ass duo. You guys' podcast is awesome. You guys' content is great. You see Matty getting featured on like BR and, you know, his NCAA underdog picks and stuff like that. He kind of blew up. So that was really cool for you guys in your podcast.
He's elite.
Tell our viewers a little bit about you and BetOpenly.
Yeah, man, I'll try and keep it as brief but as deep as possible. I know that's an oxymoron, but started betting when I was 13, then became a high school and college bookie. Did that all the way through till I was about 30. I'm 39 now, so it's been a while. Those years are behind me. And then I moved offshore. I moved down to South America. Tried to do Panama, Chile, and Argentina, starting offshore books. I've always wanted to do this legally. I know it sounds really bad to move offshore when it's illegal, but it was legal locally. Started like doing that slow. I always had other jobs and stuff that paid the bills. And then PASPA was overturned. It's been 4 years now, man. And we started building BetOpenly. I put money aside, got some people together, and we started building it about 3.5 years ago. Probably took about 6 months from the day PASPA was overturned. And hopefully we never look back. We turned a profit last January, not 4 months ago, but 16. And we're small though. We're still a small shop, but things are going good.
Hey, you know, green is green.
100%.
Quarter unit, half a unit, green is green on the day. That's
Green
what we
is
take.
Green, my dude. I like that attitude. I'm going to start telling my dudes that.
Green is green. I'm a little curious. You say you started when you were 13. What was the scene like back then?
Oh, man, this is real, and a lot of people aren't going to relate. I used to get newspapers, literally get the newspaper on Monday because they had the lines on it. That's how small lines used to move. As crazy as that sounds. It's a way smaller market. Obviously underground. I didn't have a bookie at 13. I bet with my family then. 15, 16 when I started messing with bookies and stuff. I also sold pot. So I was like finding people that were like cool to break the law, but not too hard of stuff, you know, just like cute shit. And dude, you literally have your newspaper and you underline with a pen what you'd like because you didn't want to circle it because you can't undo a circle. So you'd start with an underline and I would like box it up. Every time I found it, if I ever circled it, it was firm. It was done. I would bet it. So I'd kind of build my way up. And man, I had a pager back then, bro. And then once I was really bad at betting, like losing, I then offered the service to other people. So like, that's when I became a book. I was like, this shit's hard. It's impossible. Like I used to say it's impossible. And, you know, then I had my homies that wanted to do it. They were curious about it. And that's, 0 to 1. That's how it grew.
Hey, you had to be a gambler, excuse me, to realize that there's potential in being a bookie, right? You say, if I'm losing and there's hundreds of thousands of people doing this, if I could get some people, to swing this way, turn a profit rather than, giving it to the books.
And I've worked at least 20 to 30 hours a week, if not more, but at least 20 to 30 hours every week since I was 15. So I had a little bit of cash because I lived at home, but I worked and started asking people like, what does it take to be a bookie? And most of the older dudes I talked to would just say, big bank takes little bank. That's all they would say. As long as you have more than the people you're taking bets from, you'll be fine
In the long run.
in the long run. And they just kept beating that into me. So like I kept trying to make money, like build up what I didn't even know it was a bankroll at the time. I thought it was just my bank.
Right.
And I just started hosting people's bets, and I was like, "Oh, this is awesome!" Like before, when I went 1 out of 2, I'd be down $2 to $4 or $5, depending on what I'm betting. And then I started seeing how when people parlay, like, yeah, you pay out a couple of dudes a week, but you're taking money from
Yeah,
20
it's
of
just
them.
churning.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then you
So
pay one guy one parlay, you got 10 people missing.
yeah, to be honest, like I'm not some guru. Like I know a lot about sports betting. But I do tell people, like, I learned a lot from being a book. Like, I watched what other people do, and it got to the point where I could, before my pager went off, this is insane. I'm not really thinking like this, but I would tell my homies, like, we'd be sitting around, like on my couch, like dad's in the other room kind of shit. And I'd be telling people, like, I'm gonna have opposite Cowboys tonight. Like everyone, the Cowboys are favored. And like I'm gonna have, and that's where my home dog in primetime came from. That is probably Fade the Public and Home Dog in Primetime are probably like my 1 and 2 things that like blew me up on social media.
Yeah,
And
for
those are like
sure.
my 2 pillars.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know long run percentage, but your percentage is extremely high. Like there's a reason you have thought that way for this long. It's not a losing system at the end of the day, right?
Yeah. And again, if you're taking people's 10% bets and the system has an edge, you're crushing it. This goes back a long time, but the most I ever made, that's not fair to say because I bet more as I get older. The most money I was exposed on, and it's probably an irresponsible bet looking back. Pittsburgh Steelers went into Cleveland on like a Sunday or Monday night. I forget which day. It was a primetime game before Thursday night games. And everyone was on Pitt. Everyone was on the money line or spread, and they lost. And I just remembered saying, like, this is a home dog in primetime. And this is even more than that. This is a home dog in primetime. And Pittsburgh's loved and Cleveland's hated. This is the old Cleveland. They before they even had some wins, like really bad Cleveland. And that's where it kind of got. That's like I was like 18 years old. This is a long time ago.
That's
But
kind of
yeah,
where it started, kind of like the inception point of
that
the home dog.
yeah, I kind of started noticing that I always had dogs. This is prior to social media. Like, I don't think kids realize how quickly they get educated now, and also how quickly they get the wrong news too, or the wrong facts too. But back then, you wouldn't really know like you were doing shit wrong because you do it in a silo for years. And I started seeing everyone likes favorites. That was like the most obvious one. I'd look at I had that notebook and I'd write down every one I had, and it took me like 2 months to see. Oh shit, I'm cheering for the plus points. I'm cheering for the cover more times than not. And if a favorite loses, I win all the parlays. Like if a heavy favorite falls, I win all the parlays. So that was like super quick. I'm not smart. That is just like it was in my face.
Right.
And then I started looking even closer. I was like, oh shit. Primetime games, everyone bets. No matter what. Like you might not bet Pitt Cleveland if you live in California, but if it falls on Sunday night, Monday night, you're betting Pitt Cleveland.
If it's the only game on, the degens are going to degen,
Yeah. And then I started noticing, I would say after those two, I started noticing that you wanted, as stupid as it sounds, you wanted key players out. As me, you wanted the quarterback out. You wanted the running back questionable because the public's just slamming it. They think it's free money. So really, honestly, like, again, I'm not trying to sound crazy humble because I'll also talk shit with the worst of them. But a lot of this was like put in my face. I probably wouldn't have figured it out so quick, but I just basically wanted the opposite of what all my bettors were doing.
That makes
And
sense, man.
they all did the squarest shit.
Yeah, you talk a lot about square bettors in the scene because it's so apparent and obvious. If you could just look at someone's profile, it's all there. Unless they delete it, which a lot of people do. But if you're humble enough, you leave it on there and you can just scroll through people's stuff the past few weeks and you can just tell if they're a square bettor or not. And there's been a few, it happens every week, but there's been a lot of exposing of these 107-0, whale goat plays, just ridiculous shit that is just, it makes the whole market look bad,
And you're being nice, bro. Like squares to me, it's not that insulting. It's fine. You call people casual, call them a square. I take square bets. I bet a square game probably a day. I'm probably not on the sharp side at least once a day. And but I have like 6 or 7 plays out. But to your point, I would call those just flat out frauds.
Yeah, those are frauds, 100%. That one guy in particular, I'm not even going to add him for the attention, but he 107-0. If you put that in your bio, you have to be less than 15 years old. Like, there's just no possible way that you would even think that would go through.
Yeah, and like looking back, and again, I don't know if you know this, I'm defensive as hell, but I never pick fights. So like, I have never gone on someone else's video and said negative stuff. But if someone comes on one of mine, and that's what happened, we were up 12 units for the month, and I bet half a unit, 1 unit, 1.5 max. 90% of the time, I have some 2s and a couple of 3s a year.
Yep.
So when dude literally came on our post and just said, any loser up only 12 units isn't a pro. So I just was like, that's bold words. Let's look at their profile. And then I saw what you saw. And I
instantly
just said, dude, like, you're barking up the wrong tree, homie.
When people go and comment on your stuff and they're that low life, it's kind of crazy just because you have such a good foundation and backing in this community. So the fact that he could just one off and just try to like throw a little dig at you, everyone's just kind of circled around him laughing.
I appreciate that. And you know what the crappiest part is? I'm such a hard-headed Italian that I can't hold myself back. But I really wish I did more because I want those liars and losers on BetOpenly.
Yeah, they're going to make you plenty of money.
I also want to educate the community. So like, if I ever, like, I don't lose sleep over trolls, but I do lose sleep over how I handle them, because there's people that work with me or for me, and they'll send me screenshots like bullying someone. And I'm like, dude, don't ever go on other people's videos. Just defend yourself if they come at us, but don't go at them. And the reason is, like, I love that squares are on BetOpenly. Like, you don't want it to all be sharp, even though it saves sharp and squares alike. You want both. You just want, like, I was really proud on Monday and yesterday, both playoff games, because now there's only one playoff game. For the first time since NFL, we saw every bet fill. Wow. So I love that, because
that's awesome.
Yeah, and it also means some people aren't creating bets, so they're waiting for bets to fill, so they're not fully satisfied and they run off to the books. That's fine. But I want both sides. I want the guys that always hammer the dogs. I want the guys that always hammer the favorites, because honestly, we remove the variance, so it's equally opportunistic for both.
Absolutely. For our viewers, what is the difference between BetOpenly and any other book? Just give us a little rundown of 1% juice and everything going along with that.
I try and keep it super simple. I need to actually get better at this, but I hope I do my best here. So, one, BetOpenly's person to person. So if we're talking tonight's game, for someone that has Denver, someone else has the Lakers. Where usually, if I have Denver, the casino has the Lakers. But if the guy next to me has the Lakers, the casino has Denver. Why that's super important is most houses charge an average between 5 and 20% vig juice on every one of those. So by being able to remove the house and only charge the winner 1%, for you, the better, on your losses, you should save $10. So if you're a $100 better, every loss, you should save 10%. Now, I said that wrong. Every loss, you save 10%. If you're a $100 better, you save $10. Even if you're a $20 better, you save 10%. Even if you're a $1,000 better, you save 10%. So technically, and no one listens to me, I have told them, bet the same you bet with a book on BetOpenly, and take that $10 and put it in a jar. But they probably don't. They probably put it back into play. But that's what I've said. And then every winner wins 8% more. So the way we did the math was designed that you literally win more and lose less.
That's insane. I don't think there's any other book that does what you guys do.
There's not. And I'm happy about it and I'm excited, but I'm also a little mad, but I also got to listen to the market. We're adding on technically I lied on dates, but I'm just that transparent. I'm announcing it on June 1st, but we're technically rolling it out the end of May to leave 2 days for bugs. We're rolling out player prop parlays that automatically fill. So that's not peer to peer. But if people want that last minute, so it's weird. I'm going to coach them to not use probably our most profitable feature, but I really want people sticking to peer to peer, betting smarter, being more sustainable. But if anyone wants last minute fills, we're going to have those options. And where it came from, enough good dudes like you emailed me and said, "Hey, brother, like you've saved me so much. You taught me so much, but I'm still running off to the books to do parlays last minute. And then I end up betting with them anyway. So if you did that, I would be more disciplined." So I'm like, all right, I hear you loud and clear. I'll do it. I'm not happy about it, but we'll do it. Same with live betting. That's why we added live.
For sure. At the end of the day, for me and you, or for me to you, you teach the whole community responsible habits. So adding that, I feel like that's a little more for the degens, you know? So you can have your site and you can do your teaching and everyone can know how to save money at your book. But at the end of the day, you can still have that back end of degens that can get their quick fix in.
Yeah, and I don't want to get too granular here because I haven't decided yet, but I'm starting off with just $1 to 25. So like right now you can bet as little as $10 on the regular bets and as high as you want. I'm starting with just 25. The perfect world, I actually only allow a percentage of their balance. That sounds super controlling, so I don't want to be controlling, but I'm going to let people set their own limits. So they could set their limit to 100% of their balance. And if they do, Uncle Gino's not getting in the way. But the beauty of you doing that 25%, I only let you update it once every 30 days. You couldn't get drunk and break that. So I've already
that's different. I love that. That is awesome.
I did this with units and it's gotten a lot of good feedback. A couple drunk people emailed me drunk on Saturday and they're like, "I just want to hammer this game. I love it." I'm like, "Brother, you checked the box. I can't break the code," but it's been really well received. So I'm going to do something similar. And I hope people realize, yeah, you'll miss a couple winners, but I promise you I'm saving you money.
For sure. And from your side, being so transparent, for me, it's hard to understand the other side of the coin where they wouldn't want to come through knowing you're being so upfront and transparent about it. You're the only book that has a face. Any other book, DraftKings, FanDuel, these are sponsored people. You're the owner and the face, the content and the education. I think you're a one-off compared to any other book, any other owner, anything in the game right now.
I appreciate that a lot. What I'll say without throwing any stones is the best part of BetOpenly, honest to God, is not the money savings. That's a fantastic piece, but it falls second in my book. The best part is every time someone loses, a human wins and not a corporation. And I can't stress that enough. Every time a bet doesn't fill, you get your money back, but no corporate, because the books are really good at finagling. They're really good at getting us to bet the wrong stuff. So I try and tell people that the best part is every time some dude's bummed that night, some other dude's dancing. And it's hard because it's easier to talk about the money. The 10 and 8% like resonates more than like the community aspect. But I think we're going to get the community going. I really do. I think we'll get to a place. I have Discord. I haven't launched it yet. It's there. I think we'll get to a place where people start to get to know each other and like opposites. Like I'm a huge Bay Area fan. I want to be a rival with a Dallas fan and that he takes me and I take him. We're just not there yet. We'll get there. And I don't want the site to be too noisy, but we'll go that direction.
Oh, no, you're good. I completely understand that. I feel like as a gambler, if I lose, I would rather know someone else got the 99% in FanDuel, DraftKings, whatever, didn't just take my money and make me deposit again. Someone on the other side is going to reinvest that more likely into another bet for someone else to be able to cash out on. That's like extremely different to anything that's going on. And I think that's a crazy, awesome aspect that you guys have brought to the scene.
Thank you, brother. And
yeah, absolutely.
You mentioned, I didn't even know 750,000 likes on TikTok. I want to even know how, like, I want to find that one. When I get to 1 million, I got to like throw a party or something.
Dude, you gotta have a party, Disciplined Degens party or Bet Openly party or
Some
something like that.
giveaway, something
Yeah,
cool.
on TikTok live or something like that, where everyone can get in the feed and give you guys his flowers. You deserve it, man.
I
You didn't
appreciate
just
that.
have 1 million or one video that just blew up. I mean, you put out religious content daily, weekly, monthly, and it's all educational and for the community rather than just boasting about your plays or flexing money or doing this cheesy, corny shit that 80% of the cappers in the community are doing.
I appreciate that a lot, man.
Yeah. I mean, one of the best things about you and Bet Openly is how open you are and just having the face of, Bet Openly making 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 TikToks a day, talking to people, making videos off of comments. Like, it's very personable and it's a lot different than anything else.
Thanks, man. I'm gonna stick to it. Like the dudes that give me feedback, like you, that positivity outweighs a troll comment like 100x to me.
It has to.
And I have fun with them. Like I don't know how else to explain this. They get the algorithm humming. They talk trash and comment like 50 times, and they're so mean that other like nice dudes will DM, like, or comment back. I'm like, guys, you're the gas on this fire.
Blowing the algorithm up, man.
Like I don't block trolls. They
No.
don't make my. It sucks that they're like so miserable, but they're the gas. That's like
Yeah.
the Ferrari needs the gas.
Absolutely. And you have such a good community that the good guys will always outweigh the bad guys, and
Always.
there'll be one bad comment and there'll be 5 good guys defending you right under his comment, So at the end of the day, those people are just giving you more impressions. They're more eyes to
100%.
you, and they're just looking like dicks at the end of the day.
I like that. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You gotta receive your flowers as they are due.
Thank you.
Bay Area guy. Thoughts on the Golden State Warriors?
Man, so I lost a good amount. So I'll parlay this into like a bigger discussion. So I am a homer. There's a lot of guys that I've met that are good dudes in the space. Bender's one of them. Smart Money's one. Maddie's one. And they all judge me because they say you're such a homer. And they're right. That is the difference of me and a pro. And the weirdest part is like I have access to all the data and everything to be just like a pro, but I gamble for fun still. I like drinking seltzers, hammering games, and I like what I think's going to happen. So I do it with a smaller percentage of my bankroll, but the Warriors were one of them. I genuinely believed I could have passed the lie detector after game 5 that we were going to win game 6 and 7. But we got it.
That's not your fault, man. A home team hero is a home team hero, and you're rocking with them till the end. What do you think going forward into like next year? What do you think the changes need to be? The dynasty still intact? Does Poole got to go? Draymond?
So I'm a self-proclaimed GM, and after we won last year, I said we got to trade Poole and Clay. I told all my homies last year after the win, I said this win was a blessing. Wasn't expecting it. Arguably never as special as the first one, but honestly second in my book. To if there's 4, I would say this was second. Last year was second best to number 1, just because I wasn't expecting it, where I was expecting it the other years. And I said, hey guys, you're gonna hate this, but if we don't want this to be over, we got to get rid of Poole and Clay. Poole will never be Steph, and Clay has lost his step on defense. He's a great shooter. You can get a lot back for him. We should go bigger because Trey as a 5 is just not going to happen forever. He would be a nasty floating 4. And no one listened to me. I hate that I'm right. I wanted to be wrong. My boys, after we beat Sac, were like, you're wrong. I'm like, I'm happy I'm wrong. I want to be wrong all the way to the finish line. But I wasn't. So in order to not have the dynasty slip away, which probably is slipping away, but we could maybe get one more for Steph. I don't know what we can get for Steph and Poole or Clay and Poole anymore. after those signings, their value's minute. So I think Steph and Dre are raw enough talents that we can give away a little bit of equity for the future years, even though it doesn't really work in basketball, but you can sometimes finagle. And we got to get a Sabonis. We got to get the equivalent of an agile big man. Looney's a beast, but he's just kind of clunky. He's amazing with his rebounds, but he's not. He gets his points too, but he's just not it. And I say that with respect. I got nothing but respect for his work ethic and what he's turned into these last 3 years. But that's my assessment. In
Yeah,
order
I
to
feel you.
get one more, we got to make some aggressive moves that cost a little bit of future equity, sadly. And we didn't have to do that before. Could have done that just with Poole and Clay.
I mean, you guys just drafted so well that it's crazy that it's finally come time to where you got to make some in-house decisions for the future, because you guys have just drafted well and plug and played, you know, 7th, 8th men come off the bench, DiVincenzo and stuff like that. It's crazy that Clay and Poole both shit the bed in the last few games, like both of them. And
Yeah.
Poole, my assessment of Poole, I'm a Michigan guy, so I watched him in college. He just does too much. Like, he just does too much. He just dribbles too much. If he could be an off-the-ball guy and be able to come off a screen and spot up for shots, he would be so much better. He just needs the ball in his hands to score too much on that team.
And I loved when we grabbed him. I got a bunch of Michigan buddies that I text. So but wasn't he better at stealing the ball and playing defense before, like being a nuisance to the other team's point guard?
Yeah, absolutely. And he wasn't even the guy bringing the ball up for us.
Yeah.
He was our two guard, so he was the spot up shooter. And then when he came to Golden State, he kind of just implemented. He sat behind Steph, so he's watching Steph every day, and then he goes in. He tries to be that guy, and he's just not that guy.
And his nuisance in college didn't translate over. Where Dre at Michigan State, he was a nuisance, and it transferred over.
Yeah, he's a dog. He's a Saginaw dog, dude. He knows how to play defense. He's rough. He plays ball the right way.
I completely agree.
NFTs with BetOpenly. I'd like to get into that just a little bit, just to tell our viewers about it and give it a little promo.
So this is actually funny. It's crazy how many like people that don't use us and don't understand what we're doing hated on this. I didn't come up with this. I was begged to do this by our users, by our Allegiant people. So when people say like it's a scam, I'm like, do you know what you're talking about? Do you know what we're doing? And they don't. So I'll tell you, I think we have 100 left until sellout, and they're going live at the end of this month. So they'll be sold out this month, which is a huge success. And we have a call tomorrow with this group called the Dead Kings. It's like an elite group of NFT holders. It's kind of a crazy world. I'm trying to learn it, my dude, to be honest. I got lucky. I screwed around and got a couple pretty valuable NFTs that I didn't pay a lot for. So in the space, I could like show my wallet and have a little bit of clout, which is kind of sad, but it's almost like a Rolex watch. Like your NFTs, what you hold is kind of how that world operates. It's kind of like the key to the door. So I own a bunch of pudgy penguins, and I think I bought them for like $500, which sounds asinine, right? And I think they're worth like 10,000 each. I got a bunch. So, what I would say to just our specific NFTs: one, if you don't like NFTs, don't buy them. I hid them in your wallet. They're not in your face. It's not your thing. No worries. We even added a filter on the live feed. You uncheck NFTs, you'll never see an NFT bet in your life. So people that are like freaking out, kind of weirdos, to be honest, they're the trolls a little bit, but
they're overreaction, and those are the people that weren't even going to do it anyways. They're just like commenting off of it.
Yeah, and they probably got burned, to be honest. They probably bought really high and got smoked. But what I'll tell you about our NFTs, and they're threefold, and I'll try to be as direct as possible. One, it's a frequent flyers cashback rewards program. That's it. Each NFT has a bet type: poly parlay, sunny spreads. Literally, the juice you pay me, I'm giving you 10% back at the end of the month. People can stack up to 5. So 50%. I'm sharing 50% of my profits, already the smallest profits in the game, with people. So imagine you're getting begged to do this. You do this. You share 50% back with the community, and you get called a fraud. That's where I just don't even get mad. I'm like, okay,
You
Fine.
can't get mad. That's how the community is, man. That's just
Yeah, it's
how
like,
people in the
okay, fine.
space are.
So 2, that's like the utility, like the bare bones, like, okay, I buy this thing, I make 10% back per thing, and I could pull out a napkin and see if it pays me back. How much I have to bet till it pays for itself. Couldn't be more straightforward. Secondly, a little more fun shit because I like gamification. I used to be a gamer. I don't talk about this a lot because it's not like betting space, but I was a big Warcraft guy and a big Command and Conquer Red Alert. So we're gamifying this. People are gonna be able to bet their NFTs. Okay, cool. You can bet them, bet the one you want, put a bunch of them in, win a bunch of them out. It's no different than like Pokemon cards, Pogs, whatever. Again, not for everyone, but you can risk them. You're now leveraging an asset to win back money. And if you lose it, you lose the asset. The cool part about these, I'm paying the gas. So you can essentially bet juice free on that side. And that's it. It's that simple. So you go forward, you bet them if it's for you. Again, don't have to do that. Moving even more forward, we are going to share 50% of the profits of these. So when people bet them, the other side has money. There's 1% juice on that. I'm sharing 50% with that DAO. We are going to give away free bets. So people once a month will get to go on an AMA with me in the Discord community. That's why I want to do this right. And we're only doing 1,000 to start. So some guys bought 10. So I don't know, there's probably going to be 200 people in this small community once a month. They get to meet me, hang out with me, and we're going to give away this money in free bets. So let's just say you won, let's say there's $2,000 in free bets. We let the DAO, decentralized autonomous organization, I think is the actual breakdown. It's a community. It's like a little country. I don't run it any more than anyone else. I own 10, so I get 10 votes, just like someone else that owns 10. So it's equal like that. The community gets to vote on the $2,000. So they could say, hey, Gino, let's give away 100 bets for $20 each. No, let's give away 4 for $500 each. No, let's go, $100 each, 20. I'm like, okay, whatever. Vote on it. People will have a $0 to win that dollar amount bet because they get given it from half of our rewards.
Mhm.
I had to jump through so many hoops to do this with lawyers and bullshit to make sure it's not a security. People are like, why are you raising money? I'm like, guys, and it's cool that we're going to sell them out and make 75 grand. I have spent more than that on these. It's more of like a lifetime thing. And I do think owners will tweet them and share them. So it really is just a user acquisition strategy. There's no financial gain from it yet. That doesn't mean there won't be, but I hope I broke that down in the last thing. The coolest part about them, it's a series. So I started with 1,000, 100 per bet type. There's 10 bet types, excuse me. 1,000. And then we're going to do 100 per NFL team. So 32 NFL teams, 100 each. That's 3,200, right? The game grows. The first 1,000 of those 3,200 NFL get airdropped 1-to-1 to the Gen 0 people. So automatically their supply doubles. So they're not mad about dilution. They'll still be mad, but again, I'm sharing the profits with them. So hopefully they understand, okay, you now have 2, and now there's more in the wild that can get bought and sold on secondary markets with gas fees. There's royalties, and then we share more bets and more stuff. So that's the whole scope. We're going to go through every series, probably only release a new series every 6 to 9 months. So like NFL will probably come out maybe right before playoffs, something like that. And then I'll wait for NBA, maybe for like the finals, just like we'll space it all out because the Gen 0 always get the airdrop. So they're happy and they're excited and they can see them being bet. And yeah, man, we're just trying to build a community.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's such an out of the box thing, but in this generation, most people understand. If you're, maybe older than 30-ish, that's kind of where it starts falling off. You got to watch a couple YouTube videos, so on and so forth. But I think it's extremely self-explanatory, and I think the more people learn about it, the more it's going to catch on. I think the ball it's just going to snowball.
Thank you, brother. And I also think the world's making a huge mistake laughing at these. Blockchain
Well,
technology is substantial. It's just not, there's always a bunch of scam artists when something's new. Always.
absolutely. And people listen to the media a little too much, and other haters that have no background in the community and have no knowledge on NFTs or anything like that. So people hear a lot of false information and they just run with it. They see titles, they don't read the entire research paper. They just
Yeah.
only read titles and then they just go on with it.
It's insane, dude. And honestly, like, I'm a little bit spiteful. So I'm not going to lie. I'll probably have an assistant go on my TikTok and find the hater comments so I can reply with video once they're up like 10x in value.
Oh,
That's like,
absolutely. I think
that's
you
how
have to.
I want to kill them with math.
Yeah, kill them with kindness and proof. Proof
That's
is in
what I
the
wanna do.
pudding. And a year down the road, we'll find you. We'll come
And I'm
back to our old
excited.
videos.
I'll be able to talk about how much was spent on them and how much money was saved and won. And that will be the proof of the pudding. Oh, wow. He made 75 grand. That's a lot. The damn coding and everything to build this, it's pretty much a wash at this point. Not quite. It will be a wash when it's all said and done. And then I'll be able to say, hey, but this saved people. Because again, we've saved, I think you were alluding to this, we've saved people over 4.5 million. If everyone owned a bunch of NFTs, that would be 2.25, in savings. It's not even a question. Like, the power users are going to love these. And that's actually the coolest part. We did it like a baseball card pack. You can't pick the ones you want. You can just buy one and you get a random rarity and all that.
I like that.
I think what would be super cool is when a random user that bets, not hating at all, but bets 10, $20 a game once a week. I love them as much as any user. When they get like a one of one or a rare team, there's only 100 Dallas Cowboys, only 100 Niners. And if you bet on them every week, you bet $1,000, that's $10 juice. So I'm really looking forward to someone that gets one that's not as valuable to them. And they're like, Gino, like, I sold this for $1,000. Like, I'm so happy. So
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that.
that'll be awesome for people. I like sports cards and stuff, so I know that little addiction, that little love you have for opening a pack. So if that's incorporated into BetOpenly, I think that's another aspect that'll take it to the next level. It's cool to open stuff and being able to get the 101 or the numbered card per se, and the more for NFL, the better NFL team, someone that's going to
Yeah.
win the Super Bowl or someone that's trending upwards or has your favorite player or something
man.
like that.
And I'm such a geek. We're going to do stuff like giveaways. Like, so 32 people will win a free future on the Super Bowl. Now, you won't be excited, if you pull the Houston Texans, no offense to the fans out there. But 32 people will have a zero to win $1,000 on a future. And we're going to do stuff like that. So we're going to do a lot of stuff that's super engaging. And I'm
Hey,
looking forward to it. The
yeah, for sure.
cross-pollination I didn't mention, we let people stack them too. So let's just say you own a poly parlay, a sunny spread, and a 49er faithful. If you bet a parlay that has the Niners and the spread, you get 30% off juice.
That's
So
crazy. Nobody is doing that.
So I'm hoping, and there's such a finite supply. Dude, trust me, the hardest part of, like, no good deed goes unpunished. I had people hating on me, and I had to beg the people that early invested in us to let me do this because they hated it. So everyone hates it. So it's like, why did I even bother? But I think it will pan out, and then we'll be good.
I think so too. Everyone just needs to relax a little bit.
I agree, brother.
Just let it keep flowing. We're talking before we started this. You moved out from the Bay Area to Florida. How was that going? How was like the studio itself coming along?
Oh man. So I lived in a small apartment in Nob Hill, San Francisco with my wife. We moved back from Argentina, the country, into my apartment that I lived in 10 years prior, kept it the whole time.
Wow.
New York and all this stuff. And I really try and stay away from politics, but I hope I could glaze over this without getting political. San Francisco just wasn't what we left it. I'll just say that. The
Hey,
city that I
everyone
loved,
knows.
where I was from, and where I thought I was moving my fiance back to, it wasn't it. So we immediately started looking around. We looked at Austin, Texas, Nashville, Tennessee. My wife's from Manhattan. We looked there. Uh, God, we looked everywhere. And then she used to come down to Florida in the winter. Her grandma was a snowbird. So we came here 2 Christmases ago, maybe 2.5, I guess, at this point. But, and within 48 hours, I said, oh my God, we're living here. So landed in Fort Lauderdale, shopped all the way up and down from Miami to Palm Beach. And I fell in love with the more north. It's funny. I like NFTs, but I'm older than 30. I'm almost 40. But I just like I got a lot of homies in Miami. They're single and they're younger in heart, same age. I like the more north. So I like Palm Beach County. So, and I met Maddie on TikTok. Good dude. He owns a bunch of tropical smoothies. That's how he makes his money outside of sports betting. And met him at one of his stores, shot the shit. We have the same vision. And I think he'll back this up if I say it. We wanted to get the studio about 6 months ago, and I just begged him. I said, just wait. The market's going to really hurt for commercial. Just like, trust me, we got to let him bleed a little bit. That's just the business person in me. And we got a really good deal. Nice office. We each have our own office, and then it has a main like living room area. We're going to make full big screen setup studio, like couches, bar. We're going to make it like a big, like a big kid's living room, like what I wanted when I was 15, but now I can afford to have it.
Yeah.
We're gonna have guests there. We're gonna have parties, UFC. So I'm jacked, brother. It's sick. Maddie's a really good kid, and he works hard. A lot of people, again, I get more defensive over him than I do myself when they're like I've heard people accuse him of like being born into money. The kid works 60 hours a week grinding. He's not poor, but to say like it's handed to him is just a lie. You just don't know the dude.
Yeah, people are just gonna, literally pull shit out of their ass and try to throw it at you. At the end
Whatever
of the day,
sticks.
they literally have no idea what they're talking about, but they're on Twitter and they're bored. They have nothing going on in their lives. Maddie's a great dude. I have been following him for a couple years, and I mean, you guys are just a really good duo.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, teaching wise, and then you guys both have your own favorite teams, and had that San Fran Eagles little battle.
Oh, man,
that was fun. That was fun. It was cool seeing it lead up to it and it actually happening. You guys just could see it in the future,
I couldn't believe it. That was our first year doing a podcast, and I'm still convinced. I'll get back to my homer now, and then we'll move on. I'm still convinced Brock Purdy and my Niners beat their ass if he doesn't get hurt.
Hey, I'll agree with you.
With a third string quarterback in CMC, we would have worked them if we had offense, but
and he couldn't throw the ball, literally.
Couldn't at all.
Yeah, that's crazy. It is awesome to see your success. Like I said, I've been following you for a couple of years. We've been shooting the shit for a while. I seen in the video of the podcast or in the studio, you guys right on Main Street, beautiful Florida, right outside. I mean, that's gotta be special.
It's fun, man. There's if you ever come down here, let me know. We'll take care of you. Maddie is locked in at the Hard Rock, so he gets good dudes like free rooms, stays. He's locked in. And we're right on Atlantic Ave. There are some really cool sports bars. Anyone that's familiar with Scottsdale, Arizona, it's like Old Town Scottsdale. It's my wife and I have a very secure marriage, so she's allowed, like, there's the young talent running around. It's a fun place to be, especially for single dudes. So I know you're not single, and we'll get into that. But the industry is, ran by single bros kind of thing. So I'm excited for the people we'll meet and the parties we'll be able to have there.
The scene. Excited for the scene and
better word.
Yeah, I think you'll have more Florida community kind of migrate over towards you a little bit, sports betting wise. You guys hit up the bar, have like a Saturday night, Sunday night, you're watching a game, have all the dudes come over.
Cannot wait.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome for you. Like you said, and we were talking off air, my wife is pregnant. I'm gonna be a first time dad. Do you got any tips for me?
Oh man. So I talk too much, so I'll try and keep this consolidated. These are all cliche, but please listen to every word out of my mouth. Spend time together, just you two, these last couple months, because there's going to be 3 of you from now on. And it doesn't make it worse. This is cool to like hang out. and these kids cry. So you gotta like get headphones. You gotta like train yourself, dude. It tests your patience. It tests your anger. Uh, enjoy your sleep. Enjoy your time together. I will tell you all the negativity. You times it by about 100, and that's the joy that comes out of it. So there
That's
is,
awesome.
of course, negativity, and then you can't like you miss like, dang, why did I do this so early? I should have waited a year. Maybe not my old ass, but my wife's younger than me. Um, and but like I celebrate her standing up like she graduated from Harvard. It's
Wow.
like just her standing up. It's
Yeah.
just like you watch this little thing that looks like you, and talks like you, and acts like you, like turn into a little human. And I haven't even gotten to that phase yet. Mine's only 8 months, but she is sitting up and standing up, and she does yell words and stuff. So you're gonna have a blast. You're gonna be effing exhausted.
I
But
am extremely excited, but I definitely know I'll be extremely exhausted.
and text me anytime, questions. You're gonna be clueless. And I would say that the last thing I'll say, and this might be something that's maybe not said widely. A lot of first time parents, I think, are both helicopter. They're trying to help. The kid's losing their mind. Honestly, go take a break. Like, you should not be there. You both don't need to go through that.
Right.
Like, here, wife, you go on a walk. Like, if my daughter's named Sienna and Isabella is my wife, if Sienna's losing her mind, Bella will literally take her out of the house in the stroller and walk. So, like, it sucks because she goes on a walk and there's a kid screaming for 10 minutes, but then I get 10 minutes of silence. So that's
Give
my
and take.
best advice is you don't need to go through everything together. Like midnight diapers. You're both, you don't need 4 hands on deck. Just do 2 and one of you sleep through the night. That kind of stuff.
Well, I
Hope that's it.
appreciate it. Yeah, any little nuggets will help. I can almost promise you'll have some texts maybe 10, 11 o'clock at night.
I'm up from 7 a.m. to midnight every day. Let me
Hey, that was another thing I wanted to talk to you about. You are extremely busy. You have so much shit going on, texts, emails, phone calls from multiple different aspects of your life and business wise. What's like a day in the life of Gino?
Oh man. So I had to explain it like this. A lot of people don't know this. It's not that exciting, but I used to be in tech consultant, tech sales, SDR manager, AE, all these acronyms, people that sell software. I still have a company that does that. That company actually financed 90% of BetOpenly. So I own 90%, but I raised the full 10% just to have more people involved in skin in the game. But so Monday through Friday for about 4 hours a day, I've gotten it down to about 4 hours a day. I am doing boring San Francisco SaaS, software as a service tech. So that's still real. That still exists.
Get to do
pays
that
all
from
my
home?
bills. Yeah, it's from home. I used to travel more up until Sienna was born. I used to go back to San Francisco and see clients. Now that I have a daughter, they're pretty understanding. So that is 4 hours of my day. The other is a lot of stuff you don't see with BetOpenly. QA, quality assurance, is probably my number one gig. It's really hard to find people that are knowledgeable in sports betting and technically savvy. So I'm not the CEO. I actually never tell people I'm the CEO. I tell them I'm the founder because I don't talk to other executives and make executive decisions. I'm
Right.
on the front lines. So I'm dealing with bugs and playing with the app in dev mode all day and seeing what doesn't flow right. And that's at least 2 hours every day. It's like a video game that's broken. It's a weird. That's the best analogy I can come up with. You get to play the same video game over and over every day with no rush because there's no real money involved. It's in dev, and you're trying to break it, and then
Yeah,
trying
trying to
see.
find bugs.
Yeah, so that part sucks. Now, first thing, once I can afford it, I'm going to hire a QA expert, and then from there, it's partnerships. I only do social media to drive leads to BetOpenly and to meet people to partner with, like you. That's it. And you paid me the biggest compliment anyone's ever paid me. Maddie has said it before, but you worded it nicer, so I'm gonna tell Maddie he's a chump. I truly believe that my differentiators are that no one else in our space has as much gambling experience as me. Authentically, no one else in our space. There's gamblers in our space. but no one else was probably a 13-year-old gambler turned bookie that went offshore to try and start offshore because they never thought it'd be legal in the US.
No, I don't
So,
think I have. That is a very one-off story. That's extremely unique.
so I really do hope that that expertise will translate into I'm building BetOpenly what the community needs, not necessarily what it wants. Am I jealous that Prize Picks made a smarter, easier, more profitable model and it's worth billions and I'm not? Yeah, every day. But I'm convinced that we're the turtle and they're the hare. So that's
Hey,
where
there,
we're at.
you see Prize Picks. There are like 5 to 6 other sites that are almost identical that try to just like sweeten the odds or just little color changes. That's basically all it is. Just obvious observation, like just
You,
blue and yellow instead of black and gold
you
type
see it how I
thing.
see it, brother. And good on them for being first to market because usually that's super rewarding. Uh, and I really think they've made it very easy to gamble. So it's super cool. I actually love them. They attract new people to our space. They're one of my best friends. I'm convinced I'll be able to take people from them one by one by one for the next 20 years. Not just
Yeah,
them, anyone in the space.
I mean, I agree with you. All it takes is the little knowledge. You just got to put it in front of someone and have them understand it and then be like, "Well, what the hell have I been doing this whole time? I could have
I,
been saving money. I could have had better value. I could follow these guys and get plus EV plays, so on and so forth, rather than FanDuel. If you're losing, like most people are, they'll give you a little $10 free bet once a month or something like that. And that, for some reason, triggers in people's brain that like FanDuel loves me. Something like that, like they're looking out for you, but they know they're already up thousands. So that
brother,
$10 is whatever.
I'm a history dork. And what I will say is anytime the mob got out of control in Rome, they would throw games and throw out bread to the mob. People always ask me, hey, what's the sign up bonus? Hey, can you give me this? Can you do that? I say sincerely, 90 to 95% less juice is far better than me paying you to join a losing system. And then I steal all that money back.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the
That's part of
sign-on
it.
bonuses are just
And they're
eye
cool. Like, it's
candy.
cool to give stuff back.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's just eye candy to get a new customer in to rake off of them for the next 10 years. That's really all it is.
And they're getting super creative. Like, I don't know if you saw the other day, Prize Week does $1 million giveaway on a 6-teamer a day. So
Yeah, I've seen that.
they're gonna keep doing this stuff. They need to distract the mob. They need to distract people from the fact that if you do 6-teamers every day, you will bleed out. Period. That's it. So again, I
Well,
don't want to get too negative, but I genuinely believe they will get people hooked to the feeling of gambling, and I will convince them how to make this a responsible part of their life and an
yeah, and
entertaining, long part of their life.
at the end of the day, if you're losing an ass load on Prize Picks, you're probably going to look around to see what you can do better. And that's where you're going to, just slide out of the bushes and say, "Hey, I've been here the whole time. Where you been? How you
That
doing?"
that is my unfiltered hope is, hey, we're always here for you. It doesn't have to be today. Whenever you
100%.
want to still have action on games and not bleed out juice so quickly, we'll be here for you.
Well, that's awesome, man. It's crouching up on an hour. I don't want to take too much of your time. I really do appreciate you being on the podcast today, and just taking the time. Like I said, you're so fucking busy. So just
Thank you,
getting an
brother.
hour out of your day from your wife and kid, I greatly appreciate it. Any side notes, any shout outs, let everyone know you're on Twitter and TikTok so they can find you.
You're a fantastic host. I loved your questions, your prep, everything. This was super enjoyable. I'm never too busy to come back on, especially if you want to do like a big event where I give all my plays and explain them all, something like that. I try and keep it super consistent. I'm Gino _ BetOpenly on Twitter, but I'm bet.openly on TikTok and Instagram. Once I can afford more people, I'll have my brand as me, and then I'll have like people running the businesses. But right now, I run both. So like I'm just trying to like be a little different because Twitter's more vocal. I was like, oh, I'll put my face next to it. Where TikTok. I wanted people to see like the bets and stuff. So yeah, Gino _ BetOpenly or bet.openly is pretty much where you can find me. And I'll try and keep giving out plays that show the public lines and odds and when there's reverse line movement and stuff like that, and try and get people to see gambling's a game. It literally is a game, and you got to just watch the data. And some days there's not enough time. It takes me, I didn't even get into that, the day in the life. My capping takes at least an hour every day, if not almost 2 on bad days when I can't find a lot of value. Sometimes it just jumps off the paper. And then I got a little one, and then I got a wife. So yeah, my day, I wish it was longer. I know that sounds
Cliche.
There was times when I was employed that I wish the day went by faster. I now wish the day went by slower.
Yeah, absolutely. Understood. Like I said, man, we really do appreciate you. Uncle Gino, everyone. I'll have all of his ats below this video. If you want to check him out, make sure you do. Go to BetOpenly, make an account, check it out. Just, take 5 minutes and just explore the site. See if you like it, make an account, and check him out. So like I said, I appreciate you, Gino.
Thank you, Riley. And I'll do just one more better. You don't even have to sign up. You can actually go to betopenly.com just to see the lines and odds. It's a public UI. So you can just check it out. And I hope what you see intrigues you to sign up. But thank you, Riley. I appreciate you telling them to sign up.
Absolutely, man. We appreciate you. And we'll see you next time, guys. Peace.
Later, brother.
Another one for Tommy boy. Another one for the world. Another one for the listeners.